Hi Simmers, and welcome to the second part of what is probably one of my most favorite videos that I did on this channel. There are others that were cool, but these ones, at least as far as speed builds go, is up there. So if you don't know, I have another video in which I started building the Goth house from The Sims 3 in The Sims 4. And this is the continuation of that. In the first part, we built the exterior, the houses, the floor plan, and furnished the first floor. And now we are furnishing the rest of the house and doing the landscaping. Let me tell you, the landscaping was the most awful part. But I will get to that when the time comes. The Goth house in The Sims 3, as I said in my previous video, looked wonderful, majestic, mystical from afar. But once I actually went ahead and tried to replicate it in The Sims 4 as accurately as possible, I realized it's pretty dumb. It's pretty fucking dumb. And I had some issues with it in the first part, like the fact that one of the roofs is somehow poking through the walls. And also, there were just little small stuff that just didn't make sense. But look at this wallpaper. Just look at it. It's awful. It's just awful. And it's even more awful in the Sims 3 version. It's worse, it just is. I also had a lot of trouble with the curtains in this room. Because you know, in the Sims 3 there was the create a style mode in build mode where you could just color everything as you wanted and gave it whatever pattern you wanted. Mostly they had a lot of stuff. And they had those really cutesy, I would say, curtains with some butterflies on them. They were pretty cool, and they had a very specific color. And they also had this bed with the, I think it's called the canopy, which I tried to replicate with pillars. Big mistake. Obviously, we don't have the create a style here. So I tried very hard to make do with the items that I did have. But everything looked odd. Because no color matched anything. And their house is matchy to a fault. I cannot express to you to what a fault. But I thought it was a pretty important thing in their house, that it's so matchy. I didn't manage to do it. But I tried my best again. Some items were incredibly easy to find. Some items not so much. But here I am again struggling with the walls for the attic and the roofs. If you watch my other videos, you know the struggle that was. And now it's acting up again. I'm not really sure what happened. I'm really not. And also, this part was especially annoying. It wouldn't let me paint the wall. And I thought it was because of the roofing that was on top. It wasn't. I deleted the roofs completely. It just wouldn't let me paint the walls. I went to the main menu and I came back and it still wouldn't let me paint the walls. In the end, I managed to fix it. I think I just closed the game completely and then came back. But I was just so confused. I just remember searching on Google what the fuck is going on, and nobody seemed to have an answer. You do what you can. Not even when I deleted the wall would it let me paint. It was annoying, especially because I was very much looking forward building, furnishing their wonderful bathroom. The master bathroom in the original Goth house is probably one of the most ridiculous, stupid-looking bathrooms my poor eyes have ever seen. You are not ready for it. Honestly, I don't understand what was in their mind. When they built this bathroom, it's just so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. It's got this special room for the bathtub. That was, it's alright. It's okay. I'm not mad at it. It's too red for me. A bit angry. But what can you do, It's fine. They had this awful tiling on the floor that was much smaller than the one that I am placing in The Sims 4 because I just... it's the best I could do, okay? But they had this horrible, horrifying yellow marble... What the fuck is that? Just look at it. It's awful. It looks like a llama threw up on it. It's just awful. I have no words. The hate I have for this marble wallpaper is awful. And this is the best part. The best part is that they matched the fucking toilet to the marble walls. I just imagine Cornelia and Gunther Goth having this wonderful conversation about, honey, no, we have to be posh. Our toilet must match the marble on the walls. Of course, yes, everybody does it. No, Gunther, not everybody does it. It was awful. It is stupid. I just look at it in awe and laugh because of how stupid I think that it is. And also, again, the toilet paper is like 10 meters away from the actual toilet. Can you just imagine them having to grasp it? And also, another thing that I truly love about this house is how they have all this huge house. The marble matches the walls to the toilet, but they only have 2 candles to light their kids' room. Gunther, Cornelia, I think we need a chat. I think you have some parenting issues. We need to chat. Also, this bathroom that I'm doing here, I think matches the original one pretty well. And I just love how the mirrors match the towels on each end of the counter. It's beautiful. Again, I said this in my other video, but who doesn't match their towels to the mirror? Peasants. Pure peasants. I think this room gave me trouble. I don't remember why. It was probably the wallpaper. Yeah, it was the wallpaper. Nothing looked right. I got very frustrated. And also another thing that really confused me is how every room almost has a different kind of wallpaper, and not only a different kind of wallpaper, but it's different textures. Like in one room they will have just plain wallpaper, in one room they will have tiles, which is, okay, but in one room they will have just stone, and in other rooms they would have wood. How does that make sense? And I also kept thinking about Dr. Ashley's video from when she built the paranormal house for the paranormal stuff pack. And she mentioned how the Sims team told her that she needs to limit the wallpapers she uses in the house, because the more wallpapers they use, the more laggy it gets. Really? Maybe that's how they got to their obsession with lag, which I appreciate. I appreciate because after playing The Sims 4 ever since it came out, I went back to playing The Sims 3. That's how I came to make this video, by the way. And I cannot build, I cannot create a sim properly. The lag is strong. And I didn't even get to Island Paradise yet. That would have been a fun trip if it would even work. I also love how they have their easel in a far corner of the attic with barely any light. I don't get it. Sorry, I don't get it. They also had their painting skill already there, which means they painted there in the attic, as you do, of course. But I think this is where I go to the landscaping. And this is a ride. I also cut a lot of it because only the landscaping took me 4 hours. No, I'm not joking. And yes, maybe I am stupid, but it's what happened. I wasn't happy. First of all, the first stuff that I encountered that was pretty shitty is the number of tiles available. The Goth house was built on a 60 by 60, I think, originally in The Sims 4. In The Sims 3. We can't do that in The Sims 4. Nope. I know some packs have 64 by 64 lots. I don't. So I had to build it on a 50 by 50. Which means I had to cut a bit of the landscaping short. Which means the sizing was a bit odd. Which means everything was just a mess. It was a mess. Especially because on the other side they have a graveyard. That graveyard was the death of me. That wasn't funny. They've got very specific places for different gravestones, and for different plants. And however much I tried to get it right, because I had to limit the space that I used, it just wouldn't. It wouldn't. I also have this frustration with the rose bushes because the rose bushes in The Sims 4 and The Sims 3 look very different, but because I knew exactly the type of bush that it was, I wanted to place that one specifically. It wasn't nice, it wasn't fun. I think this is the moment where I just kind of lost the fun. I also don't have a reveal shot at the end, or maybe I will do it, I don't know, I could go back and do it, but it was painful and I got very bored. It took me a lot of time. I already took so long to build and furnish, and the landscaping isn't my forte. It was so bad. Even now, thinking about it, it pains my soul. Also, another thing that was awful to me is that they had a garage somewhere at the beginning of the lot. It's actually the first thing you see when you enter the lot. We don't have cars in The Sims 4. And we also don't have garage doors or stuff like that. It was awful. It was pretty awful. It was pretty awful. And they had this pond that goes across the lot. Guess what we don't have in The Sims 4? That's right, a pond. It was pretty awful. It was pretty awful because I had to make the pond using a fountain. I first wanted to make it a pool, but then I realized that whenever there's a pool on the lot, every sim just jumps in it and it's stupid. So I made it a fountain. But I had to cover the edges, so the amount of times that it took me to put plants around the edges in such a way that you cannot see the edge of the fountain is just unspeakable. It's unspeakable. But here I am, finally finishing this stupid shit. I hope you enjoyed. I will put some reveal shots at the end because I worked too much on this house not to have them. But I guess this is it for today. I will see you in another video. See ya!